Hi, Abby. How are
Hi.
you?
Great.
Welcome to A.PUTNAM's Women in Golf feature.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like the tables have turned having you on here versus you always hosting somebody on your podcast.
I know.
So obviously you're familiar with this setup, and I'm so excited to finally meet you. We've exchanged some Instagram messages, I think for a while now, and
Yeah.
so I, very out of the blue, asked you if you'd be interested, and I'm thrilled you're here.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
So, so
It's
cool.
nice to get to talk about For the Ladies.
I know, I'm really excited. And I think more than anything, too, is just getting to know, and this is kind of what we do on the Women in Golf, is just understand how that founder or how that player or whoever that woman is, like how they got into golf and what are they attracted to, what are they doing for the sport. And it's kind of a fun just conversation that leads to a few different places, so I think you'll probably
Great.
have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
So we generally kick off the session with how you got into the game of golf.
Yeah, sure. I have played golf for most of my life. I got into it at a young age because my parents encouraged me to play, and um, I grew up going to a country club in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summer, that was just what we did. And so I started playing probably when I was like six, did like junior golf
Mm-hmm.
clinics and all the little camps and things like that. And then played high school golf, and it just like always stuck with me. So um, it's it's been great. I've continued on. I never played collegiately. I'm like the least competitive golfer that you'll ever meet, which is like not good for like any types of tournaments or events. But
It
yeah, I've
makes it
just
more fun, though, I'm sure, to some
I
degree.
know. Yeah, I just like don't care enough. But I have just always played leisurely,
Mm-hmm.
and continue to obviously like working in the game. There was a purpose to continuing to play.
Yeah,
So it's been fun.
that's amazing. And I think biggest question here is, how did you start For the Ladies? Like, when did it start? Why did you start it in an infant stages? Like, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, in its infant stages, it was just one introduction to golf clinic, and the event was called For the Ladies Golf Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just it. It wasn't a brand, it wasn't an event, or it wasn't a 501c3. It was just an event.
Yep.
And so I have always worked in golf. I've held various golf um, roles in the industry and mostly focused in marketing and communications. And since I've worked in the industry for about 10 years, I had noticed that there were great opportunities for juniors to get into the game, and there
Mm-hmm.
are opportunities or just people who are more privileged and able to afford lessons maybe later in life. Maybe they belong to a country club with their
Mm-hmm.
family. And then there's a wide range of people who want to get into the game and were curious about golf but didn't really know where to start because they weren't introduced as a child.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it started as that. Certainly the pandemic, like everyone then got into golf. And so, I started the organization. Well, I held my first golf clinic in 2019.
Okay.
We officially incorporated in like 2020. And that, the pandemic hit and we didn't really host events, but that allowed me to focus on other things, whether it was the website, just
Mm-hmm.
creating a brand in general, hiring somebody to make a logo, all that fun stuff.
That's so neat.
And so it's taken off from there.
It has, and I feel like you're everywhere now. So where did this start? Because where do you live now?
I live in Pinehurst,
Uh-huh.
but it started when I was living in Providence, Rhode Island. I
Okay.
was working for Titleist at the time, and we hosted our first introduction to golf clinic at a place called Newport Indoor Golf in Newport, Rhode Island.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So now you're making tours, and it's I mean, the clinics, like the pop-ups there all across the US and frequent too.
Yeah.
So how do you manage these pop-ups? Who's there? I'm assuming you're not at every one.
No, we have 82 events on the calendar now, and
Oh
I
my
cannot attend
gosh.
all 82 of them,
Yep.
unfortunately. So we have a amazing volunteer community. We
Cool.
receive a lot of inbound requests. People want to help. People understand that this is a need, and they want people to feel comfortable and welcome them to golf. So
Cool.
you can expect to typically see a For the Ladies volunteer at every event. But
Mhm.
if not, that's because the course has said, like, we're super dedicated to this. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to be able to run this event by ourselves.
that's really neat. So definitely a conglomerate of people that are helping execute this. And are you at these pop-ups from a lesson standpoint, instructional standpoint, is it typically the location's pro or like teaching pro that pitches in?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's so neat. And I think it's great that you've just created such a community around it. Because I think there's a lot of pockets of women trying to do something like this. And it's nice that you've got kind of the boundaries and that outline of here's how we do it, and hand it over. Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's certainly something that I want to like create scalable. I want us to be
Yeah.
in all 50 states. I want us to be doing it as many cities and locations as possible. So,
Right.
got to build it that way.
No kidding. And so I have to ask, is this your full-time gig?
It's not.
Okay.
For the Ladies was like a passion project, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
continued to be that way. I do have a full-time job. I love my job. I
Can you talk about it? What do you do?
So I work for the United States Golf Association,
Mm-hmm.
and I work in the marketing department.
Yep.
The United States Golf Association is the governing body for golf. It's the organization that like cares about growing the game
Yep.
5, 10, 100 years from now. And so
Yep.
that kind of aligns with, me and what I
Absolutely.
care about. So it's a wonderful place for me to be. And I this is like my line, like For the Ladies is my 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., my 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yep.
job.
Yep.
And I'm sure plenty of entrepreneurs can completely relate to that because
Yep.
that's what you do when you love something.
Absolutely. You juggle and you fit it in, and you may
Yeah,
be exhausted doing it, but it energizes you through, I'm sure, those either
yeah,
odd hours or late nights.
totally.
100%. So, talk a little bit about your For the Ladies podcast. When did that start? Was that a pandemic pickup?
It was, but even
Mm-hmm.
before then, I was just having, it was so funny. I was sending questions to people via email and was having them respond and then would post them as blog posts.
Oh, yeah.
And then at one point, I did like a video interview, and my friend Ryan, he was like, "Why aren't you just turning these into podcasts?
That's
Like, why are
awesome.
you doing these like video interviews?" Which is so funny because now I feel like
Yeah.
it's like switched again,
Yeah.
and everybody uses video clips to promote their podcast.
Yeah.
So, it started as just like wanting to elevate the voices of women who play, work, and love
Yeah.
the game. But there's like other segment things that we do too. We have like a Golf 101 series where we talk about
Mm-hmm.
learning the basics of the game and like things that are not just like literally playing the game, whether it's like
Yeah.
unwritten rules or golf course architecture. And then
Yeah.
lastly, we have a type of podcast called Mixed Bag where we recap what's going on in the LPGA.
That's cool. And I've hit a couple of those episodes because it's actually a nice little cheat sheet on like
Yeah.
what's happening.
Well, thank you.
So I think you do a really nice job with that. And how often are you recording and dropping episodes right now?
Once a week, but it will like vary.
Yeah.
So it's not Ladies of Golf every week, Mixed Bag every
Right.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so fun. That's where do you
Yeah.
record? Just from home?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Using
do.
the
Okay,
same
like,
platform as you do
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. It's like
run
right.
with it.
That's right. Well, there's the conveniences of all this are really nice. So that's so cool. So
Yeah.
another question is how often do you get to play?
So now that I live in a state and temperate area that allows for golf more often,
Yeah.
I do try to play quite a bit now. Now that it's like the weather's always nice for the most part and warm,
Yeah.
I'm like a 75 or warmer player. Like
Yep. Yep.
that's
Fair
it.
weather for sure.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I probably try to like get out like twice a week.
oh, that's really good. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
jealous. I hope to get there. Are you married with kids?
I'm married without kids.
Without kids. Okay.
What are
Gotcha.
we? Dinks? Is that
Oh,
what it
is that
is?
what it
Double
is?
income, no kids.
Yes, yes. My little brother was that for a while, and I was just like, "Oh, you guys are just living the life over there."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, life changes quite a bit with kids. So when you say 2 times a week, I'm like, "Man, how does she pull that off?" So,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
That kind of aligns then. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's good.
Nice. So, and I have to ask because we have the Cleveland connection. Where did you
Yeah.
grow up?
I grew up in Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, yeah.
Yes.
And
So Northwest Ohio, like the other side.
okay, and what club did you grow up going to?
So, we first my family belonged to a club called Sylvania Country Club. Like
Mhm.
that's where I picked up my first golf club.
Yep.
And then when I was in, I think it was like middle school or late elementary school, we moved to Inverness Club,
Okay.
which most recently hosted the Solheim Cup.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love
Yeah.
that. How often do you
Yeah.
get back to Ohio?
I try to pretty often. I would like in the summer, I try to go at least twice.
Nice.
And that, yeah, like because we belong there, it's like you want to use the
Oh,
membership
sure. Be
and my
present.
family is, I'm like, we're close to them. We play golf with them.
That's
So
cool. I love
yeah.
that. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother and four step siblings. My
Uh-huh.
brother plays golf and three of my step siblings do. So
Oh,
plenty of
cool.
reasons to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, next time I know Toledo's like a little bit of a drive from Northeast Cleveland, but not too far. Hopefully
No,
we'll
you
our
should
paths will
come.
cross. I know
That
it'd
would
be
be
really
amazing.
fun. I love
Yeah.
that. I think it's we'll put that on the calendar when
Oh
that
my God.
aligns. That would be
Please.
fun. A
Yeah.
good excuse to visit. So now, I mean, I'm curious, like just where you are, and I was thinking about wrapping up with this, but I think it's also fun to just conversate about it a little bit more. What's kind of next for you? Like, what do you think? Obviously, you hold a really nice and have a really nice career within the USGA, and then with the For the Ladies, like what's on next on your horizon? Is there anything you can share?
It's kind of crazy. I'm really at a crossroads where I don't know like what's next for me
Yeah.
personally, but from For the Ladies perspective, like really excited. We have almost all of our golf trips for 2024 planned, so like that's going to be amazing. We're going to a
Yes.
lot of new places that are bucket list trips.
Are
Um,
those are scheduled like travel like trips that people can join in on? Or do you
yep.
typically go to each one of those?
I do. And that's mostly because you're paying a premium to go on the trip. I want
Sure.
to offer you a premium experience.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do go on those trips.
That's so fun. So what do those trips look like? And
Yeah,
we're kind of like derailing on this, but I think
that's
it's something
okay.
fun to talk about.
Yeah, no, the trips are very fun to talk about. So they are multi-day events. You're going to play more than one round of golf. Depending on the location, you might play 36 in a day. That's not
Hmm.
every day. But the trips always include like accommodations and the golf, typically like a welcome reception and a dinner, some stuff you're going to do on your own.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter your skill level. We don't do it as like a tournament. You're just here to
Hmm.
like play golf, meet other
Fun.
like-minded golfers, like have fun, get some fun swag.
That's
So
so cool.
they're really fun.
I that maybe is what I need to sign up for more than anything.
100%.
That sounds like so much fun. How many ladies do you typically draw to one of those trips, or do you cap it? I'm assuming at a certain
Yeah.
amount.
It depends on the location, but we have hosted anything from 24 to 68 people. So it
Good.
just depends on the location.
Yeah, those are some good numbers.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then how long are the trips? Are they 3 day? 4 day?
Again depends on the location. I know that's
Yeah.
annoying. But
No.
some it's like we're playing 6 rounds of golf, so we're gonna be there for
Yeah.
4 days.
Got it.
Whereas other ones, I do try to always have them like overlap with a weekend because
Yes.
again, our audience like can't take a
Oh,
full week off work.
right. Right. Absolutely. So you're accommodating a little bit of that scheduling. And how many trips do you have planned for this year?
So 2023, we did Pinehurst, which is a trip we've done every year, and it's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Scotland, and then ending the year with Erin Hills, and then we're actually announcing another fall trip like tomorrow. So hot off the
Oh,
presses.
oh, cool.
Um,
Oh, that's
and then
exciting.
yeah, and then for 2024, we have one, two, three, four, five, I think. And one we've announced already. It's Ireland. We're going to Ireland for 8 days,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, should be
Gosh.
great.
That's really neat. Is it hard to find connections and bring that overseas like that?
It has been interesting. I've partnered with there's so many really great travel agencies that do this
Hmm.
like this is what they do for a living.
Yeah,
So I try to partner with those experts so that
that's
we
really
provide
neat.
because I don't know. I haven't been to Ireland. I
Right.
need that like help to make that happen.
That's really cool. I'll have to ping you because we're really building up our community right now and really trying to not build a community around clothes, but more about the women and what they're doing. And a big
Sure.
piece of that, and especially the elements of our designs and like features, are very travel oriented and versatile from a packing standpoint. So we really will probably dabble quite a bit in that kind of women in travel and have that play, of course, of staying somewhere that's golf driven and helping with either itineraries for little trips like this. So I'll know to hit you up if we have any questions about navigating the waters of all that.
Yeah, it's a
It's
lot.
really, yeah, that's really neat. Now, we won't go all out probably from planning 8 trips a year, but it'll just be more of that informational and sharing of kind of those beautiful places to travel to and how to do it. And so, and hopefully some good, just exposure, I think, to places that people either haven't thought of or some incentives that maybe we can work with and collaborate with some of those places. So we're excited, but I'll know to tap into you with the experience that you're going through with all this. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So then beyond, so I know we kind of stopped there in terms of talking about these trips. Is there um, anything you do specifically with the USGA that's event oriented or anything? Obviously, in the marketing world, I mean, where's your focus with the USGA?
So my job is in marketing and most specifically paid media and
Mm-hmm.
like email marketing efforts. So actually
Got it.
support all parts of the organization, which
Yes,
is
you do.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the job. That's what fills a lot of my time as
Of
well.
course, of course. So you said at one point you were a titleist. Like, what's in terms of your career, and where did you go to school? Did you go to school for sports marketing or anything like that in particular?
I went to Indiana University for
Okay,
journalism.
got it.
I was a American Junior Golf Association intern, so
Mm-hmm.
did that for a few summers. And once I did that, I was like hooked, and
Hooked.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Here, I'm here, golf. Like I'm ready to work in this industry forever." And it's been interesting, right? Like I've tried to get jobs outside of golf, for sure. Like I know I applied for jobs in marketing roles at like a Kate Spade and
Yeah.
other places, McDonald's. Like I've had
Yeah.
interviews across the board, like not just in golf, but at the end of the day, like that's what I was happiest doing.
That's really neat. Well, you get to marry kind of a passion and hobby with work,
Sure.
which is such a good blend
Yeah.
um, of just working through all that. That's so nice. So let's see. I've got a couple of fun. These end up being kind of random questions, but some of them are quite amusing.
Great.
So, all right. So, outside of golf, do you have any hobbies or things you just
Do
love to
you have
do?
hobbies outside of golf?
No,
I know.
especially when like work and work is like golf. Is there anything outside of golf that hits the top of your list?
Not really. Like I love like dining out
Mm-hmm.
and big on eating out, especially when I'm traveling. And then aside from that, I mean, honestly, it really is like all golf all the time,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the normal things, like love eating out, love going to concerts,
Yeah.
love, trying to fill my time in other ways.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's good. That sounds about right. I think when your plate is so full of golf stuff, and when it's still a passion of yours, it's probably easy to just have golf fill that up quite a bit.
yeah, yeah.
What about this is a bit more of a style and fashion oriented question. What is your style off the course? How would you explain it?
I would say it is like just like the capsule uniform. Like I'm always wearing like gray jeans and a black top,
Yeah.
or like high-waisted black pants with a white button down. Like
Yeah.
literally it's like the capsule wardrobe with white, brown, gray.
Yep. All your
And I'm
neutrals.
like right now I'm
You
wearing
are.
like this like
Caramel color. I
brown.
love it.
Yes. So, I would say like that. It's not even like classic per se, because you know, you always want to like fun throw things in, but
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's like all neutrals all the time.
Yeah.
Something where I can like mix and match it elsewhere.
Yeah. So like pretty minimalistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which ends up swaying a bit more classic. But to your point, like you've got some modern cuts and things like that that you can splash in there. I love it.
Yeah.
I can say the same exact thing about my wardrobe. So I always look at my closet and I'm like, man, I really should like buy some more color. But
I know.
what I find that I end up doing is I always for the last few years I've rented clothes. And so
Same.
the stuff I rent ends up being like those statement pieces or
Yes.
color. Because I'm like,
I'm the exact same way.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place to rent from?
So like for every day, and even like some like wedding stuff, like attending weddings and events, I do Newly.
I do too. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
It's great.
I know, I love it. And I do that, and then if I can't find something for a formal event, I typically go to Rent the Runway then.
Right. That's so funny.
Yep. Okay. So our closets are just about identical, probably.
Perfect.
I love it. And then what about on the golf course? What do you wear typically?
So I've really gone through a transformation. I had a very like sporty spice phase where like I was wearing things that like I was trying to look so athletic. Like I was trying to wear lots of joggers and hoodies and all these things, and I would always look at photos of myself and I'm like, I don't like how I look in these like outfits. So this year I've really tried to be more retro and wear more skirts and dresses, and if I am going to wear pants, like I'm going to wear it with a cute cardigan, something more feminine, but really looking toward a retro look.
I love that. That's cool. I think there's so many cool brands out there now that are offering at least the option outside of what I always would say is that golf, it seems like, fell into like sporty or really preppy, and I think preppy meaning lots of pattern, lots of bright colors. Like that's what golf has been for so long. And I think there's still such a place for it. I mean, I have days where I'm like, I would rather be sporty and like, you know, it's almost a mood thing. But I agree. It's so nice that there's just more offering and things to pick out from. And I think there's more people too mixing their own, just like items in their closet to wear golfing.
Yes.
So weather permitting, of course. So I know I find myself, I mean, I still do that. Even with like the A.PUTNAM pieces, I really encourage people to wear them like with other stuff. Like, I'm like, you don't have to be A.PUTNAM head to toe. Like I think that's just adding your personality to any outfit. So
totally.
It's really fun. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Let's see. How about when you are golfing, is there a favorite piece you like to wear? Like, I've talked to a few people that are like, I will never wear a short sleeve on a course, or I prefer a skirt. I hate dresses. Like, do you have a go-to piece that you normally grab?
I feel like I'm in the minority, but I love golf dresses.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it might be, I'm pretty petite in height. And so, pants like sometimes look awkward on me if it's not a petite size. Skirts like can be super hit or miss, but a dress I can get hemmed and it will probably look okay still.
And you'll be fine. Yes. Yeah. Well, we definitely, I made the decision early on that we would have petite sizes, and most of it's styling, because we've got like our pants you could hem, but you would lose the like tulip detail at the bottom.
Right.
And so I was like, we have to have petites. And then if you go with one petite, you're kind of like, well, the wrap dress needs to be in petite too. Like, it's just so, but it's been fun because I have run into more petite people along this journey. It's so funny.
I was
So
like shocked when I looked at the site. I was like, oh my gosh, she has petites. I
I
need
know.
to look
And
into this immediately.
that's too funny. And I think it seems like people are so vocal about it because is I think it's hard to find.
It
So
is.
it's funny because I get so many people like, oh my God, you have petites. So, and I'm 5'9". So like it really, I'm almost thinking I should have had tall options for some things, but, but it's fun. It's fun to have those petites. And like you said, the
Yeah.
dresses have come a long way too um, for golf. So, but I think the adoption rate hasn't quite gotten to 100 there. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
getting close. We're getting close. One fun thing. Do you have any hidden talents?
Ooh, not really. I was a ballet dancer growing
Oh,
up.
cool.
So, like, I'm not gonna like go spin around for you, but like I could if I
You
wanted
have the
to.
ability to do that.
Yes.
Probably have better balance than anybody else out on the course. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely helped.
that's neat. So, a couple more questions. Do you have anybody that you really look up to? And it doesn't necessarily have to be from a career standpoint, but is there anybody that really helps you or motivates you? Anybody you look up
Um,
to?
I would say, oh, it's so tough because there's just like so many really inspiring people.
Hmm.
Somebody that I'm constantly impressed by would be Amanda Renner, who Amanda Balionis, now Amanda Renner,
Yeah.
of CBS Sports, as well as Kira Dixon and Hallie Ledbetter, like that
Oh, yeah.
trio.
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed by the like amount that they put themselves out in front of people every single day and are open to
Yes.
criticism every single day, but they just continue on and like want to always perfect their craft, and I think that's
Hmm.
really inspiring and something you
That's
can take to
cool.
your own life.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And if maybe touch on a couple people in the same channel as you, or, and just in this golf universe. So
Totally.
that's awesome. What about, oh, definitely have to ask you this because we normally do a feature on this. Do you have a favorite course to play or that's just on your bucket list?
Ooh, so favorite course to play, like where I live right now, is certainly Pinehurst number 2. Like
Yeah.
I could play it over and over and over again. Same thing goes with Inverness Club. A course I would love to play though, and haven't before, it's on my bucket list, would probably be um honestly, like Augusta National. Like
Okay.
I know that's like so cliche and
Mm,
ridiculous, but at the end of the day, like it would be great. And I loved
yes.
watching the Augusta National women's amateur players play it this year.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Cool.
God, like that place looks really great to play.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you put it out there in your universe, so now like that's hopefully that will
Now I
come.
just need the invite.
Yeah, right, right. It's like where do we find that? Those are great. Thank you. What about so this is just to wrap it up a little bit. Is there something you'd really like to achieve, whether it's related to what you're doing or somewhere you see yourself in like 5 to 10 years?
I would love um I would love for the ladies to be like a product that golf courses really want to use. Like
Hmm.
I think for me I would want a golf course to come to me and say like how do I host a For the Ladies
That's cool.
event? And I think also like creating courses that are like For the Ladies certified. So
Yeah,
and like it has our mark on their door.
that's
Um,
cool.
and like that means that that course like really understands how to be welcoming to all types of people, mostly like beginner
Hmm.
golfers.
Yeah.
This course offers programming that welcomes like all different levels of the game and like creates opportunities. And I think there's so many courses that are so used to like, well, we have our men's league at this time, we have our women's
Yeah.
league on this time, and we are very regimented in our ways. And the courses that are more open to like, hey, like we should be allowing this new group in,
Yeah.
are the ones I really gravitate towards. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, you're doing really cool things now with
thanks.
For the Ladies, and I know. I think I mentioned it to a few people that I was getting to talk to you, and they were like, "Oh, I've definitely followed Abby along," or "I love what they're doing for the ladies," and like you're growing, and it's really cool. And it's such a pleasure to get some time with you today, and again, put you in
Likewise.
the hot seat instead of the other way around. So
No, I
I'm
appreciate it.
I love it, and hopefully we'll get to meet in person soon,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely going to figure out what trip I can get on. That would be so fun and a
Yeah.
really nice way to meet some more ladies just in the sport.
Exactly. And that's been like the most fun part, honestly, is like all of these women who come on the trips, like then going on their own trips. Like
Oh, that's
they met at a
cool.
For the Ladies event and then they're gonna go to Cabo. Like
Oh,
you do that and I love that.
it's
I love that we were
so
your gateway.
yes, you totally are. I'm sure for many people, and it's kind of just giving everybody the excuse and the access to other women that want to do that. I think that's hard. I don't have a ton of friends that golf, and so it'd be a really cool way. And I'm not a good golfer by any means, but I like to have fun with it.
Same. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so cool. Well, Abby, thank you for the time today. We'll of course keep our eye on For the Ladies and the announcements of all the new trips and events
Yeah.
and all that. So
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.